Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank y'all so much for joining me for our astrology talk. For today, we are diving into what it means to have your rising in the sign of Taurus. Now, I really resonate with this a lot because I myself am a Taurus rising. And if you have not seen any of my videos on what the rising sign means, the sun, the moon, as well as the sign Taurus, I have tons of videos on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and check those out. Now, diving into what it means to be a Taurus rising. Now, first of all, before I dive deeper into that, I do want to make something very clear about the rising signs, and I'm going to announce this in all of the videos. If your rising is not in the sign of Aries, whatever your rising sign is in order to really understand your rising and how to use it to its benefit, you have to go back to where Aries starts in your chart. And the reason being is because Aries is the first sign. So, in order to understand yourself, because Aries is about understanding the I am, you have to go back to, okay, where do I have Aries in my chart? And when I start to dive into this area of my chart, I will have a stronger understanding of myself, the I am, which will then lead me better into using the gifts that I have in my rising as well as the descendant. And your descendant is always going to be the opposite sign of your rising because that is what brings you balance. So when you are a Taurus rising, your energy begins in the 12th house. And this is a challenging rising to have, but when it's mastered, it's absolutely amazing. And the reason being is because the 12th house is the last house, it's the Pisces house. And in order to understand the 12th house, you have to tap into spirituality. You have to tap into religious sciences and things such as astrology, things such as meditation, yoga, Reiki, the sciences that are not really of the physical world, but of the metaphysical world. And once you tap into that 12th house energy, that's when you will be able to build your Aries energy of the I am, understanding yourself, and then better use your rising and your descendant for your benefit. So, Taurus rising, folks, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So, you have Venus as the main energy in your first house. And this is only 100% true if you don't have any other planet in the first house. However, if you do not have any other planet in the first house, you are considered a Venus first house ruler or a Venus chart ruler. Venus energy being how you exude yourself. Now, what makes this rising challenging is the first house is the house that's ruled by Aries, which is also ruled by Mars, and the sun likes to be here. The sun does not like to be in the sign of Taurus because it's it's not debilitated, but it can't really use its energy to its fullest extent. And Venus prefers to be in the seventh house as opposed to the first house because the first house is a Mars energy. So if you are a Taurus rising and you have not tapped into your Aries energy, you are a person that likes to lead with the Venusian qualities of putting other people before yourself. And the reason that that becomes challenging is your first house is the I am. So you tend to view yourself as how other people view you. It's in terms of if someone else views me as valuable, then I think that I am valuable. And the reason that this is very challenging for Taurus rising folks is because you have Scorpio on the descendant. And whenever you have a planet or any sign really on your descendant, if you are imbalanced in one area, because the seventh house is all about bringing balance, it's the Libra house, then the universe is going to bring you that energy that you are imbalanced in to bring you more balance and awareness of yourself. And when you are a Taurus rising person and you are unaware of your Mars energy, your Aries energy, you are going to be brought people that give Scorpion qualities. And those qualities in its darker aspects can be control, manipulation, mind control, as well as power struggles. And people, you attract naturally people who are very powerful in their presence. But if you are not aware of your own Scorpio energy, your own Mars energy, then these are people that are going to dominate and have power over you in a way to teach you how to tap into your Aries Mars energy. And this is problematic because the seventh house is your relationships. So your relation to people, places, and things especially if you're not aware of your Mars and Scorpio energy or your Aries energy, is always going to be based off of power struggles as well as control. Now, when you are able to tap into that Aries energy of understanding the I am, then you can understand and realize that you have this gift of being very steadfast in nature as a Taurus rising, very um very gentle in approach. People really look to you as a place of solace, as a person who is very stable, very grounded, and as a person who is very aesthetically pleasing, especially being a Venus chart ruler and having resources. Taurus is all about how I go about and find my resources, how I go about and figure out my values and beliefs, and the relationships that I have around me. And when you are unaware of your own gifts as a Taurus rising, because you view yourself in the reverse of how other people view you, this is how people take advantage of you. People are able to use you for that energy of being a place of solace for them. People are able to use you for your resources for their own benefit. And because they know that you are this giving, passive nature, because Taurus is feminine, right? So it's passive, which is the opposite of Aries. Aries is masculine, so it's direct. Because of this passivity in your approach, it can be very hard for you to be forward about what you want, forward about how you feel, and to rise in terms of conflict and discomfort, because Taurus prefers balance and harmony in their relationships. And this is something that I've had to learn along the years of, in order to really use my gifts of my rising for myself, I had to first tap into my Mars energy and be aware of my shadow, be aware of your Scorpio qualities. So there are times with Taurus rising folks where you might not be aware of the powerful presence that you have, of the ability to be a leader in terms of managing others, bringing harmony into a space, but still being that stoic, steadfast leader. And that's the thing about Taurus. Because Taurus is fixed and it's earth, it has this stoic, stable, powerful presence that nothing can really shake a Taurus person. And you might not be aware of that energy that you give off because you're so concerned about how other people view you and making sure that your relationships with people are balanced and harmonious. Now, of course, you could be a Taurus rising, but have your Venus maybe, let's say, in Aries, and that's going to give you a different approach. But if you are a Taurus rising, you got your Venus in a Venusian sign or maybe even a water sign, you are going to want to put yourself out there as this passive, humble, stable, and very easygoing energy. And that is how people can use it against you, because you're not moving from that Mars energy of yourself, of being able to see truly what's going on, see the people that might be trying to play manipulative power controls over you. And really, the beauty of Taurus rising energy is knowing how to do everything with grace and ease. Just because a person appears graceful doesn't mean that they are easy to take advantage of. And that's the beauty of this placement, because when you tap into your Scorpio or tap into your Aries, if you go into the 12th house, then you're very capable of seeing beneath the surface of things, seeing people for who they are, seeing situations for what they really are. The beautiful thing is you have Venus in that first house, so you know how to gracefully handle things. So you can see, okay, this person might be trying to take advantage of me. Let me gracefully make my way out of this situation, right? An Aries rising person might call that person out on the spot, but a Taurus rising is going to say, oh, okay, no, no, thank you so much, keeping the peace without going against your own self-worth and self-value. People that have Taurus in the first house really have to work on what is your worth, what is your value. And it's not until you find out what your worth is and what your value is that you will be able to have better relationships with other people. Because once you realize that people are not valuing you for the way that you value yourself, then you can go ahead and say, you know what, this is not a relationship that I should invest my time into. This is not a business partnership I should invest in, right? Because Taurus also rules any type of relationship, whether that be with family, friends, business, plants, pets, everything. Something to always keep in mind about Taurus rising energy is the gifts that you have in your first house are gifts that you give to yourself first. And because Taurus is about others, these are gifts that Taurus can give to other people and forget about themselves. And as once Taurus starts to pour all of that love, that Venus energy into themselves, then they're really able to use their Venusian aesthetic to the best of their ability. People that have Taurus or Libra, as well as Venus in the first house, are aesthetically pleasing. They have artistic talents. They might be singers because Taurus rules the throat. And they are beautiful at gathering resources, sustaining resources, and seeing the quality in people and things because Taurus only care about quality things. Taurus rising folks do need to work on overindulging as well as overspending because you have that energy in the first house. The first house is a cardinal house. So it's how you like to initiate and act. And when you overindulge, sometimes you can get yourself a little in debt. You can get yourself a little overweight because Taurus does rule indulgence of food, indulgence of spending, indulgence of love. These are very sensual people. They love to move from the five senses. And Taurus risings really have to focus on, and this they can really work on with tapping into that 12th house, using your sixth sense. It's not always just about the five senses. The sixth sense is what's going to help you to tap into that Scorpio so that you can really see the truth of what's going on and gracefully maneuver yourself around things. Now, one more thing that's really important to keep into consideration when you are a Taurus rising is you are leading with Venus, and Venus is all about attraction. So these are folks who really have to take the initiative to tap into that Mars energy of what do you truly want and desire for yourself? And in order to have it, you have to embody that first, and then you can attract that into your life. And when you have Taurus in the first house, we usually think that we need to go after things. But the reality is, because we are working with this Venus energy, we have the benefit of just attracting it by transforming ourselves, using that Scorpio energy to transform oneself, to embody what it is you desire, and then attracting all of those resources, wealth, positive relationships, and just all of those pleasures of life into your life. But all in all, this is a beautiful, beautiful placement. Challenges to work with. But again, once you tap into what those challenges are, you can really use your gifts of being a Taurus rising on yourself and then share it with other people and attract the abundance of life that you want for yourself. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me for this Taurus Rising video. Let me know if this information resonates, how it's been working for you, and I will see you for our next video.